Did you know Canada is making some of the biggest immigration cuts in history? If you're planning to move to Canada or already living there on a temporary visa, you need to hear this. Over 2 million people could be affected by new restrictions on study permits, work visas, and refugee admissions. Some may be forced to leave, while others will face massive obstacles to securing their future. Just a few years ago, Canada was known for welcoming record numbers of immigrants, offering opportunity and stability. But now, everything is changing. The government is rolling out some of the strictest immigration policies in decades, and if you don't act fast, you could find yourself locked out. So why is this happening? Is Canada really closing its doors to newcomers? And what does this mean for international students, workers, and families trying to build a life here? Stay with me until the end, because what we're about to uncover could change everything you thought you knew about moving to Canada. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss updates on these crucial immigration changes, the immigration cuts no one saw coming. The Canadian government has made a dramatic shift in its immigration policies, cutting permanent and temporary residency numbers like never before. The goal: to slow population growth and relieve pressure on housing, healthcare, and public services. But this shift is catching many people off guard, and for some, it could be devastating. Here's what's happening. Permanent residency applications are being slashed by 20%. Temporary resident visas are being cut by nearly 500,000 per year. International student permits are being severely restricted. Work permits are harder to obtain. With tougher eligibility criteria, refugee admissions are dropping, leaving thousands in limbo. The government argues that these cuts will help ease pressure on essential services. But for the millions of immigrants hoping to stay, this shift is creating fear, uncertainty, and anxiety. Why is this happening? The real reason behind Canada's immigration crackdown, let's be clear. This isn't just about numbers. There are three major reasons behind this drastic change. The housing crisis is out of control. Canada's housing supplies simply can't keep up with its rapidly growing population. In 2021, the country was building one new home for every 4 new working-age people, a recipe for disaster. Home prices surged from $540,000 in early 2020 to $840,000 in 2022, making homeownership a grave reach for many. Rental costs skyrocketed, with vacancy rates hitting record lows. Even the Bank of Canada admitted that strong immigration growth has driven up housing demand, pushing prices even higher. Canada's healthcare system is struggling. Emergency room visits jumped by 1 million in a single year, putting enormous pressure on hospitals. There aren't enough doctors. Millions of Canadians don't have access to a family physician. The number of doctors increased by just 6,000 in 4 years, while the population grew by millions. Many recent immigrants struggle to access healthcare, worsening the situation. The political factor: immigration is now a major election issue. Public frustration over housing, healthcare, and affordability is at an all-time high. Opposition leaders are pushing for even stricter immigration limits, claiming Canada's growth is unsustainable. With an election approaching, the government is scrambling to win back voter confidence by tightening immigration policies. Public support for immigration has dropped significantly, with half of Canadians now seeing it as a problem. What do you think? Are these immigration cuts fair or unfair? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. What this means for you, and how to stay in Canada despite the cuts. If you're currently in Canada on a study permit, work visa, or temporary resident status, you need to start planning now. These changes will make it much harder to secure permanent residency. International students, study permit approvals are down by 10%. Making it tougher to get in. Many students were using study permits as a pathway to permanent residency, but now that path is closing fast. If you're already studying in Canada, your work permit options may be shrinking. Foreign workers, work permits are now facing stricter requirements and longer processing times. Employers are prioritizing Canadian citizens over temporary foreign workers. If you're looking to renew your permit or transition to PR, you may face more obstacles than ever before. Refugees and asylum seekers. Canada is reducing its refugee intake, even as global displacement reaches record highs. With a potential Trump presidency in the US, deportations could push even more asylum seekers toward Canada, further straining the system. What can you do right now? If you're hoping to move to or stay in Canada, you need to act fast. Immigration policies are changing rapidly, and opportunities that once seemed guaranteed are disappearing. Here's what you can do. Secure your study permits early, choose schools with strong post-graduation pathways. Explore provincial nomination programs. PNPS. Some provinces are still welcoming skilled workers. Consider employer sponsorships. These could provide a more secure pathway to staying. Consult an immigration lawyer. Get expert advice before policies tighten further. Subscribe now and turn on notifications to stay ahead of these massive immigration changes. Don't wait until it's too late. Final thoughts. Is Canada closing its doors? Canada has long been seen as one of the most welcoming countries in the world. But these new policies mark a major shift. With immigration cuts, tighter restrictions, and growing political pressure, the future of Canada's immigration system is more uncertain than ever. So, is this the beginning of a long-term immigration crackdown? Or just a temporary adjustment? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who needs this information. Stay informed, stay prepared, and don't let these changes catch you off guard.